Hello everyone, Maurice saying here. Welcome to Things Invest, where we're going to be talking about investing, finance, and professional development. But today's video is for entertainment purposes only. As of today, April 18th, across the cryptocurrencies market, we've been experiencing some sort of a recovery signal, some sort of a rebound. So I'm going to go through the technical analysis with respect to Bitcoin, XRP, ETHEREUM, and Dogecoin, which, as you know, we've been mooning for the last couple of days so far. So we're going to take a look at the technicals to make sure that we are prepped for recovery for good, or are we looking for more of a downside going forward, more of a dead cat bounce, if you may. So stay tuned, stick around, let's make some money. So for those that are new to this channel, my name is Maurice and I'm a former Wall Street investment banker at JP Morgan and subsequently a private equity investor for about half a decade of my life, and most recently a tech executive at a technology company based in Silicon Valley. And now I come here on YouTube, try to utilize the experience and the knowledge that I've acquired in the 1 decade of my life so far to try to help people around the world, right, to gain that financial freedom, that financial success that we're all striving for. I'm really asking for you guys today is to really hit that like button below, that subscribe button below, and that notification bell as well to get notified when I post. I plan on posting about more of a daily perspective, maybe 2 to 4 times per week at minimum. It helps me, it helps with this channel as it grows, and most importantly, it helps you guys to hopefully spread this good work that I'm trying to do here today. All right, so moving on to the technical charts for the respective 4 cryptocurrencies I'd like to talk about today, ranking from Bitcoin all the way to Dogecoin. You can see that with respect to the daily chart that we see here, ever since on April 14th, which was a Wednesday, we've been experiencing some sort of sell-off ever since. You can see that we had that small candle and subsequently kind of consolidated from there, kind of retesting. And then subsequently we had this huge red candle, which was driven by a large fund that subsequently drove this sell-off. We don't know who exactly was that asset manager or which corporation decided to sell off, but this was a very substantial candle that brought the Bitcoin from the $62,000 level all the way to right now the $55,000 level. And as you can see right now on the MACD chart, we crossed the line right here. So this is a very bearish signal. On the RSI right now, we are highly oversold. So which is why on the 1 minute chart, we are seeing some sort of a recovery, kind of a bounce back. On a 5 minute chart as well, you can see it's kind of consolidated sideways right now. We are kind of making an attempt to go upward from here. But it doesn't really quite make sense to look at Bitcoin on more of a 1 minute, 5 minute, or 30 minutes to 1 hour chart. It always makes sense to look at this more holistically because it's just more, Bitcoin is such a volatile beast that it just makes more sense to look at this on a more of a daily chart to give us a more of a high level perspective on the volatility of the assets as a whole. So as you see on the line that I drew here, with respect to the resistance point, we have broken the resistance line that we have been sustaining for the past how many weeks so far? Ever since February, so the last, I would say, 4 or 5 weeks. And knowing the fact that we have broken this this trend line that we've been trending for, and the MACD on a daily chart we've also crossed, despite being oversold at the moment, that we are overall breaking the resistance level, breaking the trend, breaking forming this outliers right now, that the next resistance level that we see here would be somewhere around the $51,000, $700 level, which was the former resistance level that we formed before the big bounce up. But right now this sell-off is pretty substantial, so I foresee us to be we're close to that right now, and right now we're slowly testing it. So this is definitely an area that we need to watch out for. If we further break down from this $55,000 level, we will go all the way down to this level again, about $46,000 level, which is pretty substantial sell-off, about like close to about $20,000 of adjustments from here, right? So definitely a bearish signal right now. I don't recommend buying at this moment right now, even though we are forming some sort of a resistance level. Right now, we're basically retesting this level, comparable to how we were trending as of March 25th so far. So right now, this is definitely, again, the first area to watch out for would be the first level of the $51,000 level. If we break that, we will go all the way back down to the 47. So if I was you, if I was to think about investing in Bitcoin right now, I think the first level for you to buy some chips would be somewhere around the $51,000 level, and then secondarily will be going down to the $44,000 or $46,000 level. And looking at this, this was the only resistance level that we have. We never really had any former resistance level, and if we further break this, which is the first resistance level we break, second resistance we break, we will go all the way back down to this former high level, which you can see we do have a sort of a double with the top, which is a form of resistance, which makes sense. This correlates with this bottom resistance level of $41,000 level again. So if we break that, we will basically crash all the way back down to the $31,000 level, which is pretty scary, right? More of a 30K of a dump across the board. But the likelihood of that will be very minimal. I'm not entirely sure why that would happen. That would require a lot of corporations dumping, less driven by retail investors, more of a corporations dump. This is definitely one of the asset managers or a corporation decided to sell off yesterday, which drove this whole scare. So right now, those are the resistance level we need to look out for. Looking out for the Ethereum chart, as I told you guys yesterday, this is a pretty worrisome chart, and it's basically coming to into fruition based on my projections yesterday. We are selling off. Yesterday, I know we were trending somewhere around like the $2,300 level, and right now we are testing the 2100 because of the resistance level that we see here. We are slowly crossing on the MACD, so this is more of a bearish signal. We are going to further cross, knowing the fact that the signal is already forming in more of a downtrend, despite the RSI being more of an oversold side. But so the first resistance level we need to look at would be somewhere around like the 2100 level, which is right here. So right now on the daily chart, you could see that we are selling off, but on a 1 minute and the 5 minute chart, you could see that we are slowly trying to sustain that growth going forward, but the pump is relatively weak because of the volume that we see. Look at the 30 minutes chart, you can see that's a big whale dumping straight up. This is not retail investors, this is a corporation or an asset manager that decide to dump majorly, causing this whole downtrend right now. And people, and this is currently being bought up by a lot of retail investors right now. So I wouldn't hold my breath if I was you with respect to Ethereum, just knowing the fact on the daily chart right now, we are very, very much overbought, very bearish right now. I think the likelihood of us like breaking this point of the $21,000 level is highly likely, and retesting back to this level right here, to the 1600 level or the 1700 level that we have tested prior, which makes sense, right? Right now we are basically triple testing this. The first resistance level, which was the top, and then the secondarily top right here on the 21 level again, and right now we're testing this. So breaking through this will be a triple whammy for the bearish signal, which would further drive the price down to, again, right, the 1700 level, which is a significant sell-off of close to a double, 75% of a sell-off. And moving on to XRP right here, this is looking at more of a daily chart right now. This was expected. Like I drew the line here with this resistance level that we have formed. This is really deviating from the overall trend line. And right now on just, I don't know why the MACD and RSI are not showing. You can see that, ever since the huge pump to almost the $2 level, we've been selling off ever since on a daily. And these are basically dumped by both, I would say a 50-50 mix of both institutional investors, but also with respect to retail investors as well. And again, right, whatever goes up, it has to come back down, right? We don't just go up infinitely without retesting or re-verifying the bottoms, right? Which is where we're forming here. So I foresee us to be bouncing off slightly by the $1.05 level, or even like the 95 cents level. Right now we are slowly crossing on a MACD chart right now on a daily. Despite being oversold on the RSI level. So right now the price projection is going to be $1 as the first resistance level, and then secondarily on the 95 cents, 93 cents level, basically coming back down to earth to go in correlations to the trend lines that we've been having and this makes sense. The standard deviation is so outweighted right now that it just doesn't make sense for us to keep trending this way. So this sell-off is logical, and I think is a healthy way, if you are thinking about investing in XRP going forward. For Dogecoin, so looking at more of, I think we have to look at this more of the 1 hour perspective. As I see that Dogecoin is definitely a very different animal in comparisons to Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Dogecoin has no correlations in terms of the trade volume momentum, and also with the trend lines momentum that we see in comparisons to the three other asset classes. You can see that right now we are forming some sort of a consolidation ever since that pumped from the 46 cents level. Now we've just been selling off, consolidated sideways, and basically forming some sort of a resistance level at the 25 cents level. And right now I think we are pumping because of this, this retest of the bottom right now, and as of the looking at the MACD, you could see that it has crossed significantly and now it's separating. But I think because of the fact that we have double tested the bottom right now, and on the RSI level we are kind of oversold as of on a daily perspective, I do see another pump coming from this 30 cents level, pushing up all the way to the, I think, the 40 cents level, possibly even testing the 45 cents or the 46 cents level again to push all-time high. Actually, the charts right now is definitely very bullish with respect to the three resistance level, 1, 2, 3 of this 25 cents. Now we're pushing up, so it's like a 3 test as a bottom, and subsequently pushing up right now on top of the MACD and the RSI perspective, showing a very bullish chart. So if I was you as a short-term trader, I think Dogecoin looks pretty interesting right now. If I was you, for a quick buck. But again, right, Dogecoin is one of the very volatile asset class in comparisons to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. I would say, in comparisons to Bitcoin and Ethereum more specifically, XRP is still a little bit more of a, gray matter, if you may. Yeah, Dogecoin is definitely one that looks very bullish just based on the technical chart so far. So as a recap for the quantitative analysis that we have performed on the 4 crypto assets so far, starting from the first one on Bitcoin, I think a fair price point would be around the 52,500 level, which based on the technical analysis, we know that's the first resistance level that we will need to watch out for. If we break that, there's a possibility that we could go down to the 46,500 level, which is the secondary resistance level, which we have tested 3 times historically. So that's a good level for us to take a look at, and I think that's an attractive price point for us to get into, and the possibility for this to get down to that will be about 65-75% of getting there, based on how drastic of a sell-off that we're going to be seeing so far. With respect to even more attractive price point, I think the third resistance level, which I think the possibility of this getting down to this $44,000 level, will be like 15 to 10%. But if we get down there, I think there's a possibility that we could even go even more drastically to the $38,000 level, retesting that basically close to about 65% of correction. Which we have seen that historically, but the likelihood of that to be happening would be unlikely, knowing the fact that a lot of corporations have bought in, and for corporations to sell, you don't just sell like a regular investor. So you have to go through board approvals, you have to go through processes and registrations and all that stuff for you to liquidate. So the likelihood of that 38,500 would be like 5%. I would say I would rate that on the very low on the risk spectrum. And my year-end price target would be, if we are trending according to the momentum that we're seeing, would be $95,000 with an 81% upside on IRR and 1.8 times in MOIC. For Ethereum, 1900, I think that's a fair price point, knowing the fact that we are pretty deviated from the trend line. So retesting the 1900 would just be a normal case of course of cadence that need to occur for us to continue this momentum train going forward on a more of a bullish side in the future. And if we break that secondary resistance, then we will see that 1650 again, and possibility even hitting that 1500, depending on how bearish and how drastic is the sell-off again, comparable to Bitcoin, right? And if we go down even further to that third resistance level, going back to a couple months now, I can't believe we pumped up to double basically a couple of months. So whatever goes up really fast comes down really fast as well. So the likelihood of this will be a little bit higher than 5%. I think it will be like a 10 to 15% of possibility. But because of just how bullish we've been so far, and the outlook for this crypto exchange revolution that we're seeing so far, I think the likelihood of this will be relatively low as well. And again, contingent on the bullet train that we're seeing, I think close to $4,000 level would be very likely, with a 107% of IRR, internal rate of return, and a 2.1 times of MOIC by the end of the year. For Ripple, I think that's more, these two are more of the volatile assets. I think the next resistance level that we see is the 105, which is more of a psychological resistance level that we saw before we pumped up to that $2, that 195 level. I think testing this at $1 again before we hit below the the 99 cents. I think that's a possibility. If we go down, I think we will have possibility to go down to 93 cents. Just go basically breaching that $1 level. But as people see that it goes below 99 cents or 95 cents, people start coming in. There's a possibility that we go down to the 93 cents. It's more just like a psychological estimate, in my opinion. And also with some quantitative resistance level that we saw historically before that pumped up to 105 and then subsequently to that 195 that we saw, right? So that's another level that we need to look out for. If we break that, which the likelihood of these 60 cents and 45 cents, we possibly won't see this again in the future. I think the likelihood of these two would be like 15% or like 2%, 5% on the 45 cents again. Because that will be like 80% of correction all over again, 100% correction all over again, right? The likelihood of that to be happening, very unlikely. And if we actually get to this level, I wouldn't, I would buy in, but just know that don't hold your breath, because this is a very risky asset. And Coinbase has banned Ripple or suspended Ripple on their exchange for a reason, right? Because of legality issues. So something a little bit more, unorthodox in terms of investing to my liking. So something that I would, be more worried about. And my year-end price target contingent on the legality being approved, contingent on the adoptions going forward, and the momentum trains that we are getting pulled from Bitcoin and Ethereum on their side. I think close to a $3 price target wouldn't be surprising to me, with 181% of IRR and close to 3 times of MOIC by the end of the year. And Dogecoin, I think this is more of a volatile asset. I think right now we are definitely bullish. So right now, if you buy in right now, like about the 27, 30 cents level, I wouldn't, I would be okay with it. But just know that Dogecoin is a momentum play, is rather than a utilization or asset appreciation play. Contingent on how it's going to further develop, how it's going to further adopt going forward. But 27 cents, I think, if you want to buy now and hope that the bullet train keeps going, in the near couple of weeks, be my guest. I think that could potentially give you a royal return. If we further break down, I think the 25 cents, which we have tested twice, the 25 cents level can be another ideal level for you to get into. And then if we get down back to like a couple weeks ago to the 18 cents or 13 cents level, which is possible, because of just a huge run up that we have experienced so far. But the likelihood of this would be very minimal again. But if we get there, and if you believe in this asset going long term, that could be a good price point for you to get into, right? A lot of people made thousands % of gains buying at these levels, right? So, and my year-end price target contingent on the whole macroeconomical trend, the whole Bitcoin evolution trend going forward. This will be this outweighs all the upsides, right? The 250% of upside in terms of rate of return for 1 year, and close to 3.5 or 4 times your money by the end of the year. If I'm dropping by, please hit the like buttons below, the subscribe button below, and the notification bell as well. I plan on posting about 2 to 4 times minimum per week or daily if I can, if my schedule allows. Really appreciate you guys, the support and the likes and comments you've been providing for me so far. Please stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.